Some parks impress you in 10 seconds. Others make you wonder why they became national parks at all. But that first impression can be wrong. These are the parks travelers call boring, until they learn where to go, what to notice, and why the final park might be the biggest surprise of all. Number 10. Indiana Dunes National Park. Let's start with a park that gets judged almost instantly. Indiana Dunes. On paper, it sounds odd. A national park beside steel mills and highways, with Chicago's skyline not far away. That contrast is part of why it belongs here. Arrive by driving east from Chicago in about an hour, or take the South Shoreline toward Dune Park or Beverly Shores. Then look beyond Beach Day. Start with the 3 Dune Challenge and Mount Baldy. Add Cowles Bog Trail, West Beach, and the Century of Progress homes. Suddenly you see shifting sand and rare plants. Wetlands open toward broad Lake Michigan views. This park protects one of the most biodiverse areas in the national park system. It won't overpower you like Glacier. It rewards curiosity instead, especially when wind reshapes the shoreline season after season. Watch carefully and the place starts feeling stranger and more fragile than expected. 9. Cuyahoga Valley National Park. Cuyahoga Valley has a different problem. It sits between Cleveland and Akron, so some travelers assume it is too ordinary to matter. But that urban location is part of the story. The easiest access is by car from either city. Boston Mill Visitor Center makes a useful starting point. Once inside, don't chase one giant landmark. Build the visit around smaller moments. Brandywine Falls drops through a rocky gorge. The Ledges Trail glows near sunset. Beaver Marsh and the Ohio and Erie Canal towpath show a softer side. The Scenic Railroad also gives the park a nostalgic rhythm you rarely get elsewhere. Cuyahoga Valley belongs in this video because it is not trying to be a western wilderness. It preserves recovery. Old industrial land became something green again. In colorful autumn, the whole valley looks quietly transformed. It feels local, which is the point. 8. Hot Springs National Park. Hot Springs is tricky. If someone expects remote trails and huge views, disappointment can arrive fast. That is why it sits lower on this list. The best way in is simple. Drive to Hot Springs, Arkansas, then begin around Bathhouse Row. This park is less about untouched wilderness and more about America's old wellness culture. Fordyce Bathhouse and Buckstaff Bathhouse explain the history quickly. The Grand Promenade, Hot Springs Mountain Tower, and the short trails above town add context. The protected thermal waters shaped the city and drew visitors for generations. It also created a national park experience that feels unlike almost any other. Is it one of the grandest parks? No. But judged as a historic spa landscape with architecture and warm water, it becomes easier to understand why the place was protected before many famous parks. Treat it as history, not wilderness. That frame helps a lot. Number 7. Wind Cave National Park. At Wind Cave, the surface can fool you. Rolling prairie and pine-covered hills may seem gentle compared with the Black Hills nearby. Then you go underground. Reach the park by driving north from Hot Springs, South Dakota, or south from Custer. Cave tours start near the visitor center. They reveal one of the densest cave systems known. The signature feature is boxwork, a rare honeycomb-like formation that appears here in extraordinary amounts. Above ground, Rankin Ridge gives wide views. The Elk Mountain area, prairie dog towns, and wildlife drives provide a second layer. Wind Cave fits this title because the drama is partly hidden. The best version of the park is not seen through a windshield. It is felt in the contrast between open grassland and the complex maze beneath your feet, where silence feels almost eerie after the bright prairie above. That contrast is the entire point. 6. Biscayne National Park. Biscayne might be the clearest example of a park people misunderstand. Visit only the Mainland Visitor Center and you may wonder what the fuss is about. The answer is offshore. To experience it properly, fly or drive to the Miami area. Then head to the Dante Fischel Visitor Center near Homestead and book a boat trip. Kayaking, snorkeling, and island tours change the entire visit. The important places are not all on land. Boca Chica Key and Elliott Key matter, so do Jones Lagoon, the Maritime Heritage Trail, and the coral reefs. More than 90% of Biscayne is water, so the park's beauty sits below the surface. Look for shipwrecks and mangroves. Watch for clear shallows and distant Miami on the horizon. It is boring only if you never leave the dock or never look beneath the waterline. Seriously, The water holds the real story here. Number 5. Petrified Forest National Park. This park can look empty at first. A wide road crosses dry country in eastern Arizona, and some visitors treat it like a quick stop between bigger destinations. That is a mistake. The park is easy to reach from Interstate 40 near Holbrook. Its entrances connect the Painted Desert side to the southern fossil areas. Start with the Painted Desert overlooks, then slow down at Blue Mesa and Crystal Forest. Add giant logs, newspaper rock, and Puerco Pueblo. The color is the secret. Badlands glow purple and red. Other slopes shift into gray and blue. Ancient trees turned into stone through mineral replacement over millions of years. Petroglyphs add a human timeline. Petrified Forest belongs here because it is not visually loud everywhere. It asks you to notice texture and age, silence, and the strange beauty of deep time matter here. Under harsh afternoon light, the landscape feels almost alien. 4. Guadalupe Mountains National Park. Guadalupe Mountains does not sell itself from the highway. Much of the first view is desert and rock in far west Texas. But step onto the trails and the park changes. The main gateway is by car, usually from El Paso or Carlsbad. Del City is another small approach. There are no roads through the heart of the park. That matters. You have to walk. Guadalupe Peak is the highest point in Texas. McKittrick Canyon brings surprising fall color. Devil's Hall and the Salt Basin Dunes reveal one side. Frijoli Ranch and the Pinery Trail reveal another. The mountains are part of an ancient fossil reef, which gives the place real geological weight. It may look plain from a distance. Inside the canyons, the park feels rugged and earned. After a long, dusty climb, the silence becomes the reward, especially at sunset. That effort changes the mood. 3. Congaree National Park. Congaree has probably heard every insult. Swamp, bugs, flat woods, and nothing to see. That is exactly why it fits this video so well. Get there by driving about 30 minutes southeast of Columbia, South Carolina. Begin at the Harry Hampton Visitor Center. The Boardwalk Loop is the classic first stop, but Cedar Creek is where the park can really click. Paddle slowly past cypress knees and tupelo trees. Watch for turtles, owls, and reflections that make the forest glow green. Weston Lake Loop, Kingsnake Trail, and the champion trees add more depth. Congaree protects one of the tallest old-growth bottomland hardwood forests in North America. The point is not a single grand overlook. The point is scale and water. Stillness and life are stacked everywhere. Once you slow down, the park gets bigger and far more alive than expected. Especially after rain. That shift is the payoff. 2. Black Canyon of the Gunnison National Park. Underrated for a strange reason, Black Canyon of the Gunnison is almost too simple to visit quickly. Drive the south rim near Montrose, Colorado, stop at a few overlooks, take photos, and leave. That version misses the power. The canyon is narrow and steep. It is dark and carved so deeply that sunlight reaches some sections for only short periods. The South Rim Road is the main route. Gunnison Point and Chasm View are essential. So are Painted Wall and Warner Point. For a quieter angle, enter the North Rim near Crawford. Hikers can try Rimrock or Oak Flat Loop. Inner canyon routes require permits. This park belongs here because it is not about bright colors or famous icons. It is about shadow, depth, and scale. Stare long enough and the canyon starts to feel impossible, like a crack cut through the continent itself. Number 1. Great Basin National Park. And the best example might be Great Basin. On arrival, it can feel almost too quiet. There are no huge entrance crowds, no famous skyline, and no single view that dominates travel posters. That is the trick. Drive to the park near Baker, Nevada, usually from Salt Lake City or Las Vegas. Ely is another route. Then give it time. Lehman Caves should be reserved in advance. The Wheeler Peak Scenic Drive climbs into a completely different world. Bristlecone Pine Trail leads to some of the oldest living trees on Earth. Stella Lake and Teresa Lake add alpine beauty. The night sky can be stunning because the park is so remote. Great Basin is not boring. It is layered. Caves below, ancient trees above, mountains overhead, stars after dark. It rewards travelers who stay longer than one rushed afternoon and look upward once the sky turns black. Now I want to hear from you. Which national park surprised you the most, and which one do you think gets unfairly called boring? Share your favorite national parks in the comments. I read those when planning future videos. And if you want quieter places with fewer crowds, watch the least crowded national parks next.